What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Friday Q&A. Thanks so much for tuning in wherever you are in the world, and thank you for all your questions. Before we get into the questions, I want to say a very quick shout out to Josh and his son Finn over in Canberra. I ran into these guys in the street in Perth the other week, and he recognized me and we had a pretty good chat. So Josh, I hope you're doing really well. It was so nice to meet you and your family, and especially to Finn, hello from your unrelated Uncle Leon. Also, I want to say a shout out to my friend David Shankle, who you may know as an ex-guitarist for the mighty band Manowar. He sent me some of his hot sauce, and I really like hot sauce. So thank you for that, David. I've been putting this on my tacos every morning. If you follow my Instagram and see my Instagram stories, you know I love cooking, and I particularly like making tacos for breakfast. That's kind of become my new habit. Thank you, Shannon and Matt, for getting me onto that. Yet another shout out. And also, if you're going to be in Perth on Halloween, Ragdoll are playing a Halloween-themed show at Amplifier Bar. It's a Thursday night. I think we're on about 9 o'clock. Come down, there's free Nintendo 64, and you can hear us butcher our own songs live. But that is the end of the shout-outs for this week. Let's get into the questions. So the pronunciation of that amp company where I ordered a new amp from recently, a lot of people seem to think it's kind of as it's spelt, like Seriatone. And a lot of people think it's like Sierra tone, and I pronounce it Cherryatone. But you should never trust me because I'm Australian and I butcher pronunciations of everything, like beta. But speaking to Nick from Cherryatone, it's kind of pronounced like, imagine if you had jury, but you put a CH at the front of it. So it's kind of like jury, Cherryatone, and it means happy tone, which I think is fantastic. The other great little pun on that particular amp was we put the chemical symbol for acetone, so you get your happy tone amp, and it gives you ace tone. See what we did there? Speaking of the molecular, what's it based on? It's essentially a Jose-style Marshall circuit, meaning it's like a derivative of a particular modification that an amp tech called Jose Arredondo did in the 80s for a lot of famous guitarists, and there's not one Jose mod, there's several different ones. For example, the Friedman Brown Eye amplifier is essentially based around a Jose mod, but the molecular is based around, I should say, the infamous Cameron Atomica. It's infamous because of a lot of the stuff that happened around it. I don't want to get into that, but you know, apparently if you go over to Rig Talk, back in the day, there was some pretty spicy developments around that. But I got the inspiration to basically ask Nick to make that amp for me because I love the model of the Atomica in the Axe Effects so much. It's one of my go-tos, and it was just kind of like, you know, I've always wanted a Jose-style Marshall circuit, and I didn't want to get like a derivative of a Friedman Brown Eye. Like, those amps are incredible amplifiers, but they're one of those things where it's like, I just wanted that little point of difference. I wanted a slight tweak. I wanted something, I guess, a little tighter and smoother, and the Atomica and the Axe Effects gives me that, and the Real Deal Molecular now gives me that when I want to play with a real amp. And Nick did a pretty fantastic job. I would not hesitate to order another amp from him. In fact, we're probably going to start talking about building another amp very soon, I imagine, because there's a couple of ideas floating around in my head that I would love to see actualized with real tubes and transformers. Moving away from amps, a lot of you have asked me what I think about the newly announced Strymon Iridium, which essentially is a stripped-down amp modeler in a pedal, and it looks like you can load IRs in there. That's really cool. It looks like there's some kind of convolution reverb built in, and it looks like they've just gone for like the 3 most popular types of amp models that people like to use. I think it's like a Fender Deluxe, an AC30, and a Plexi. And like all Strymon stuff, the clips sound really good. I'm sure it's made really well. It seems like they have made a modeler for people who just don't want modelers. It's like a pedal platform pedal. Yeah, I'm gonna claim that one. I'm sure someone else has probably already said that over on the internet, but I looked and I was like, it's like an amp modeler in a pedal, but it's like a pedal platform. So it's a pedal platform pedal, which, hey, that's going to be the buzzword of 2020. You heard it right there. But because I love all things modeling and everything I've tried by Strymon is really good, I would love to try it out at some point. And if I do, I'll post some clips and hopefully a demo or a review so that you guys can make up your mind. That's what this channel's all about, sharing my experiences and hopefully being slightly educational while I'm doing it. What are my favorite amp models in the Axe Effects 3? This almost changes daily because I dial up an amp model that I haven't used for a while. I'm like, oh my god, that sounds epic. And the new firmware 10 release, which is out, if you've got an Axe-FX 3, go and get firmware 10, because whatever pixie dust they have sprinkled into the new amp modeling algorithms sounds insane. It's just one of those experiences where I sit around playing just going like, oh my god, making those noises, which of course when I'm doing clips you guys don't hear. You see the stank face, but I'm actually making a bunch of noises which probably don't belong in guitar videos, which is why I cut them out. But yeah, firmware 10's sounding great. If I had to pick a favorite amp at the moment, it's probably the USA C++. That's kind of the one I keep coming back around to. But I did a tone match of my molecular amp using the Atomica, and that sounds insane. And I've been playing around with the Trainwreck models. I've got to do a video with those at some point in the next week, because there's a few tweaks that you can do to those which make them just kind of sound like the ultimate vintage Marshall, in my opinion. I think there's been a couple of new Trainwreck models added, like 2 new Bright models or something. So that's pretty cool. I will definitely put that into a video. I've been meaning to do a firmware 10 in-depth video for a little while, but I've just had a bit of a crazy week. So I will get onto that one either over the weekend or next week. What are my favorite delays? Well, let's break this down into, let's see, we'll do plugins, and we'll do pedals, and we'll do racks. So let's do that. We'll start with racks, because my favorite delays are all in the Axe-FX 3, specifically the multi-delay, which is a different block to the delay block in there. And the quad tape delay and the quad tap delay and the quad parallel delay what I've started using in all of my live presets. We had a rehearsal yesterday, and we play live with in-ears and we rehearse with in-ears, and I hadn't tried doing like a full-on stereo in-ears mix with the enhancer and using the multi-delay. We've always just run stuff in mono because it's quicker to set up. And because a lot of the time when we play live, you only get to send a mono line anyway. So most of my live presets are basically running in mono. But I was like, I want to try a rehearsal in stereo with ears, and the multi-delay was just insane. You've got the ability to add like chorus and comb filtering and ring modulators to the delay lines. It's essentially like a kind of just sandbox to make your own perfect delay, and I use that one a lot for looping stuff, which you guys hear on my Sunday videos from time to time. So I absolutely love the multi-delay in the Axe-FX 3. If they were to put that in a pedal, we were talking about the way the Strymon Iridium just has like 3 modes, and I guess Strymon are known for their effects, and now they're making an amp model a pedal. I would love to see Fractal make a little standalone delay pedal that is just the multi-delay block with stereo ins and outs and maybe like expression ins or something. I think that would absolutely smash as a pedal, but alas, they don't. But my favorite delays of all time are in the Axe-FX 3. In the pedal format, I would probably split this between 2 pedals. I love my Eventide H9, which has all the algorithms from the Eventide Time Factor, and that was my first really serious delay pedal. I bought one brand new in 2013, right before we started a Ragdoll tour, which was our longest tour that we've done today. I think we did like 30 dates or something, and I bought a Time Factor because I was like, okay, cool. A lot of our newer songs had a lot of kind of cool rhythmic delay things in there, and I wasn't used to using a delay pedal. I had a Boss DD20, which worked great, but I just needed more presets in it. So I got a Time Factor and fell in love with it. That's got to be one of my favorite pedal delays ever. But since the H9 can do that and a whole bunch more, I'm going to go with the H9 as my favorite pedal delay. Very, very, very close. Very, very close would be the new Boss DD200. I love the Boss DD20. I love Boss delays as well. You got to have a Boss pedal somewhere in here in this discussion, and I think the 200 just rules. It's everything I liked about the DD20, but it's got a bunch of new modes, and you can kind of get looping stuff out of it. A really close third would probably be the Eventide Rose. Maybe a tie for the Eventide Rose and the Boss DM2. I have a bunch of these pedals just sitting right here, in which you can kind of see the edge of. Probably a tie between the Eventide Rose and this thing. There's a really old original Boss DM2, which was something that I found in a pawn shop, really, really cheap, and it's like the greatest gear deal of all time that I found. It wasn't working, but I managed to fix it up, and yeah, this just does one thing really, really, really well. And then the Rose is cool because I guess unlike the H9, it's just a really cool experimental wacky pedal. You can make soundscapes with it, and I love it for soundscapes, but it also is a really sweet sounding delay. So I said I was going to mention 2 pedals, but what did I mention? H9, DD200, Rose, DM2. Well, there you go. Eventide and Boss for pedals on the floor. I really like the Strymon Timeline too. So that's my top 5. And for plugins, I think my favorite delay plugin of all time is the Soundtoys Echo Boy. One of the most useful plugins I have ever bought in my life. In fact, all the Soundtoys stuff is great, but the Echo Boy is just super inspiring. And you got stuff like the DM2 in there, the Space Echoes, just about anything you could want. The presets are really good in it. It's just the kind of thing like when I want, you know, a delay effect on something in my DAW, I just go to that. An honorable mention goes to Blue Cat Audio's Late Replies plugin. That thing is crazy, crazy, crazy sophisticated. I really should do a standalone video on that thing because it does some amazing stuff and it does pitch shifting and it's pretty crazy. If you saw my video of their Axiom plugin, Late Replies is built into Axiom, but I need to do a standalone video with Late Replies just because you can basically design any delay you like. It's kind of like the Axe Effects thing. That's why I like it. So that one's pretty amazing as well. If you've got a favorite delay pedal or plugin or rack effect, please let me know in the comments because I'm a bit of a delay junkie. I'm always looking for new delays to try out. Another product released during the week, the Blackstar Silverline. Will I try them out and compare them with the Katana? I would love to. I actually don't know who imports Blackstar here in Australia, so I'll probably have to look up on that, and I have no idea what the timeline would be. One thing about being in Australia is we always kind of get stuff a little bit late, and then I'm in Perth, which is like the Australia of Australia, so it means we get stuff even later. But if I do come across one and I can borrow one or something like that, I will definitely put it through its paces. Will I be doing more videos with the Boss Katana 100 head? Definitely. I've got one here for at least a couple of weeks, so that's pretty exciting. Oh, listen to my chair squeaking away. Don't worry, chair, it's all going to be fine. But yeah, I definitely want to do some videos using the tone editor because I think you can unlock a lot of the features and functionality of that. So I'll try to drop like a video a week for the next couple of weeks with the Katana because I'm pretty impressed with that little thing, especially the power amp in. I was using it as a power amp for some of my modelers during the week, and it's really, really loud. It sounds really good, so there'll definitely be some more Katana videos. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you have questions for the next Q&A, please get them in the comments below. I always love to hear from you guys, and I will do my best to answer all of your questions as coherently as I can possibly manage, which may not be very coherent at all. And one last word, in the next week I should be launching my Musicon Axe Effects library, which you guys will be able to subscribe to if that's something that you want to do and support the channel. There is going to be a bunch of exclusive content, and it's really going to be focusing on the deep dive style videos. I've already done about 20 videos for it, and I'll be uploading at least one new video a week for it, so keep an eye out for that. Until next time, be good to one another, stay safe, I'll see you next time.